Hi everybody, Cam Sweet here from the Garage Connection and Central Digger Supply, coming to you today with a very exciting review conversation about this particular machine that we have here in front of us. This happens to be the God damn it, I can't ever remember how to say the name. HY680C by Huayee, and this machine, I'll tell you, it's making a lot of impressions on me and making me realize that I should have upgraded to one of these full-size diesel skids a long time ago. So what we're going to talk about this machine, some of its features, the power plant, so on and so forth, and then we're not going to really do a comparison against like a 23 horse track loader, skid, but we're just going to show how much of an upgrade this machine is compared to one of these smaller, lighter auction units, just to kind of give you an idea of really what we're talking about here. So stay tuned for more. And this machine is really built to be a competitor in the Chinese imported machine market with like your Ditch Witch SK800s, your Bobcat MT100s, things kind of along those lines. And it's not meant to compete with like the 23 horse track loaders or like the SCL 850. This is a category well above and beyond that. And there's a lot of features that this machine has that are not seen in the lower end markets. And we're going to hit on a few of those features right now. So right off the bat, what we're going to hit is probably the biggest difference between this machine and any of the other machines that are even sort of in the Chinese imported skid steer market. And that is the controls. So all the other machines that you're going to see out there, they got the 2 joystick control, unless it's a CRT 23, then it has 6 sticks. But what makes this machine different is the actual movement of the machine. So this one stick does everything. You want to go forward, you go forward. You want to go back, you go back. You want to swivel and around in a circle, you go left, right. That's it. And what this means is that it has the true single joystick configuration, and it's infinitely variable. So if you're going forward at full speed and you want to just slightly go off to one side, it'll do that for you. It's not like the other machines where it's essentially a full go, full stop. What that also means is that the arm movements are controlled off of this joystick. So you want to go up on the arm, down, dump, curl, it's all on this. And then the center one is used for your auxiliary circuit, this one being obviously lockout forward or lockout reverse, and it returns to center once you let it go. This feature is only seen on the what we'll call the 1000 series machines. So that, the V1000, obviously this machine, any of the large diesel mini skids are going to have this joystick configuration, and it really is a game changer when you're talking about the use of the machine. So when we talk about the engine in this machine, this is really another feature that kind of puts it far above and beyond any of the other ones that are in the that auction market. The engine itself, it's not only is it a Kubota Diesel, that's nice right there, but it's the 1105 diesel. So most of the mini excavators in the diesel, what we'll call like the 1 to 2 ton market, they're going to have like the 722 or the 922 diesel, but it's rare to see the 1105 in one of these machines, and this one's got it. So what does that mean? It means you've got all the power in the world to do what you have to do. You don't have to worry about the attachments soaking up all of your hydraulic flow or the thing's stalling out on you. I guarantee you there's no like fuel pump problems with these things. I know a lot of the 23 horse Rado units have the fuel starvation issue and stuff like that. And also what it means is you have a very much increased runtime, because as we know, the diesel is significantly more fuel efficient than the gas engines in this type of application. The other thing that's the big difference is the pump setup. So, you know, most of these machines are going to have just that single, what I call like the log splitter pump. This one has a main pump in the front that acts as like a big feed pump for all the rest of the hydraulics. So it's moving a ton of flow, and it puts it into the second pump that has to do with your traveling, for your joystick controls, your track controls, stuff like that. So what does that mean? It means that the pump that's doing the movement of the machine is sort of separate from the pump that is doing all of your aux flow and your arm movements. So you're not going to find yourself in a situation where you have to decide between tracking and arm movement. You can do everything all at once and probably run the attachment at the same time. So that's a huge upgrade for this type of machine. The other thing that's really nice is with the diesel, as we know, the fluid is cooled through the radiator, so you don't have to worry about the fluid overheating from lack of proper cooling. And I know the gas engine machines do get quite hot. So that's a huge upgrade. The overall construction of the machine is exactly what I would expect from the Huayee brand. Just like their mini excavators, every panel seems to be nice and straight. It's not all beat up. The powder coating is extremely nice. You know, all the pins are locked in with their own little locking screw. The thing has normal grease fittings on it. All the stickers are nice. It's just a nice machine. And you know, the color, I'm not nuts about orange, but in my opinion, it's a pretty good compromise between some of like it's not like Halloween orange, you know, it's kind of like a nice mellow orange. But just the way that this thing's built compared to a lot of the other ones that I've seen out there, it's so far above and beyond what the entry market is that, you know, it's you kind of, when you got to make a choice and you got to spend a good chunk of money, you want to make sure what you're getting is not junk. And this machine is not junk. Now, another thing that I like to talk about when I go over these machines is just kind of the whole track assembly. So this is a high track model, all right, the high motor, whatever they call it. And you know, normally with these, right, you get maybe 2 to 3 idler wheels on the bottom on most of these units. Well, this one, the whole tensioner assembly is up front here. That's one big unit with its own idler wheel and its own massive front wheel. Then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 wheels on the bottom to distribute the load before it loops back up to that drive motor. And I mean, you can see kind of how beefy it is. And this is something that this isn't going to wear out like some of those other ones where you got these wheels going bad after a little while. I mean, the thing is, it's just massive compared to all the other machines that I've seen. Now, the operator station back here, it does have a flip down plate, and this plate doesn't just fall when you let go of it. It's got like a dampened like shock going on. And then we got 2 bumpers here. And what that does is as you ride on it, the bumpers kind of give a little bit, and it gives you sort of a cushioned place to stand, and that's really nice. We do have 2 fuel tanks. Both of these are diesel, and you do not need to put that DEF bullshit in there. So you can just run straight diesel in either one of these tanks, and the machine will operate for you. I mean, we got a light switch here, throttle, key, and we've got some indicators and a 12-volt power outlet right there. We got a little momentary contact button up here for the horn, and then like I alluded to earlier, your operating joystick and your bucket arm controls. Coming around the front of the machine here, we have obviously our tilt cylinder, and then we have our aux hydraulic hookups, and we do have a case drain option right here. So what this does is it allows you to run attachments that have motors, like a stump grinder right there. The bucket itself is very big, all right, and it's also got the holes for the digger teeth, or the little teeth should you want to put that on there. And then this machine does have the standard mini skid steer quick attach, and what I like about it is normally these pins are kind of a pain in the ass to use. These for some reason are nice and smooth. It's really a good experience putting attachments on and off this machine. The other thing that I noticed a little bit late, but I did notice it, is the fact that this machine has a safety arm. So if you went to raise this all the way up to do any maintenance on the machine, once you got it up there, you'd actually take this arm and flip it down. And what it would do is it would stop the arm from falling if you were working on the machine. So we'll go ahead and demonstrate what that actually looks like right now. Can't fall. That's pretty nice. I'll go ahead and put this back up before I forget about it and break something. And there we go. Up out of the way. The other thing that's worth mentioning is the lift height of this machine. A lot of people in the, when they're looking at the smaller machines, they wonder, hey, can I go up to a dump trailer and dump into it? You know, how high does it actually lift? Whatever it may be. And the problem with that comes with, as they lift up, yes, it'll maybe lift over the edge of your dump trailer, but the way the arm swings, it pulls the bucket so far back that if you dumped straight down with like a load of stone or something, you would just dump it all over the front of the machine. You wouldn't actually get it in the bucket. So height and overall reach of this thing. I'm 5'10". I'm standing on, I got boots on, I'm standing on a little thing. So let's just say I'm 6 feet. And that is, I don't know, 6-8 inches above my head. So I got to figure that the bottom of this bucket, when it's flat, well, hell, let me just, I want to just show you right here. Just dump it down a little bit. So that's the bucket pretty much flat. Well, maybe 6'6", 6'5", somewhere around there. The biggest thing is, though, how far it comes out in front of the machine. I mean, that's all of 3 feet right there. So you got a dump trailer with whatever, 3-4 foot sides. You're going to easily be able to make it over the edge of that trailer and dump down without having to worry about dumping crap all over your machine or just missing the dump trailer altogether. So that's a huge check right there for this machine, is that it actually has the ability to be useful in a commercial application. Okay, so now for the comparison. So, full disclosure, I'm not expecting that little Power X to do what this machine can do. I know that. This is not a video about, oh, look at how much the giant diesel machine does better than the little Power X. No, that's a great machine, but it's a little machine. And that machine is similar to a lot of the wheeled units that you're finding at the auctions. I just want to show you the difference in the size between these two things and some of the capabilities between the two. All right, I don't expect the little Power X to lift a half a pallet of sod. I get that. But I just want to show you truly how much bigger this machine is. So let me pull that little guy over here. We'll take a look at some of just the differences. Yeah, so somebody wouldn't stop crying while Mom was trying to make him breakfast. So guess who's doing a video? Jonathan. Okay, so excuse me if it sounds like a baby is clawing at my microphone. It literally could be anything. So the machines themselves are very, very different. Obviously, size, drive setup, engine, the whole 9 yards. But you can truly see just the mass of the machines between the two of these things. This one is on the smaller side of the auction machines, and obviously it is a tire unit, which, by the way, I'm wholeheartely recommending at this point, is the tire units. We're going to get to that one later. But just, I mean, physically, I mean, this is nice, but you know what I'm saying? there's like, I mean, there's like none of that bullshit going on with this one. The ground clearance is bigger on the machines. Obviously, the construction of the machines is bigger. The one thing, and I got to hand it to these little guys on, this has that auto bucket leveling stuff where, you know, as you go up and down, the bucket doesn't tilt. That's really nice. It's annoying, but it's really, really nice. I think it takes away some of the lifting capacity of the machine, and I don't know if I'm in love with that. The other thing with these is this has that upper arm that kind of comes through right where your hands are. If you go all the way up, the hoses kind of hit your hands, and it freaks me out a little bit, where obviously the big guy, we don't have any of those problems because all the hoses are tucked away. They're not going to get caught on anything, and the machine is just physically so much bigger. Next thing we're going to do, we'll talk about the difference in the bucket sizes. So as you can see between these two machines, the bucket is drastically different. I'm trying to figure out how to get that one down. You know, the overall size, this bucket's kind of nice because it is the full width of the machine. So just the outside edge of the tires, the bucket hits that. And I want to say it's somewhere in the neighborhood of like 36 inches wide. This one's a monster. Not only is it physically wider and bigger, but the construction of it is significantly thicker. The cutting edge is absolutely massive, and just really, it's just the scope of the bucket is huge. I mean, this one, as I even stand in it, you know, I'm not crowded in here. Where that little guy, yes, it'll lift a good amount of dirt, but this one probably, I would say it's easily probably 2 to 1, the difference between the two buckets, which again is not surprising, right? Little light baby machine, big diesel. So, but it is worth seeing face to face. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we're going to do some examples of kind of like a real world application between these two machines. And the two things we're going to do to sort of represent that is a heavy attachment and what it can do with pallet forks. The buckets aren't really a comparison because obviously the machine can lift its own bucket. And if you fill the bucket with dirt, it's going to be able to lift that too. So I don't want to show you two machines that are capable of lifting their own buckets worth of dirt. So the first example we're going to use is that stump grinder attachment. So a couple things about that. Number one is it's wicked heavy. What it does represent though, a lot of people that buy mini skid steers, they want a grapple, they want pallet forks, they want a stump grinder, they want a rototiller, all these different applications or attachments, excuse me. And then they get upset that, well, I put a grapple on and now it doesn't really lift anything. Well, yes, because my idea of one of these machines is I don't want the attachment to take up 85% of what the machine can lift. There's no use putting a grapple on if you can only lift up one tree branch, you know what I mean? So we're going to use the stump grinder as kind of like the extreme version of that. I know that's really heavy. I know it's probably heavier than a grapple. We're just going to show how the machines handle that much weight. The next thing we're going to do is hit on the pallet forks. So pallet forks are extremely useful for these machines because, you know, let's face it, if you go to the home improvement center, you get some gravel, bags of concrete, in my instance sod, we've been doing some sod work around here. It'd be nice to throw some pallet forks on there, which aren't that heavy, lift up a pallet, go do what you got to do. That's the reason why you buy a mini skid steer, to make your life easier. So we're going to take the pallet forks, we're going to put it on each one of these machines, see how it handles that weight, and then, you know, obviously with the stump grinder, we're going to do kind of the same thing. So let's get to that right now. Okay, so what we've got here, we got the pallet forks on our little Power X here. This unit has the Briggs gasoline engine, and you know, it's whatever, it is what it is. So this machine, we got a pallet of sod on here. I don't know, that's maybe 18, 20 inches worth of sod. So we're gonna see if it lifts it. If the audio goes to shit, I apologize, but that's the nature of the beast when you get to gasoline engines. So let's see here. So, right, not at all surprising that it didn't lift up the pallet of sod. I wasn't really expecting it to be honest with you, but that represents kind of something that if you ordered a full pallet of sod and you wanted to break it down, you would think that you take maybe a third, a quarter of a pallet and it would be able to lift it, and unfortunately you just can't do that. So what we're going to do, we're going to switch it out with the big machine, and we're going to see if it can lift that pallet of sod. I'm not going to change the amount of sod or anything like that, just going to switch the machines. Okay, same pallet, same set of pallet forks, different machine. Let's see if it can lift it. Yes. Not only can it lift it, but I can get off this thing, and it's not even a question. You can take this thing and put it way up here. No big deal. The biggest thing, I can move and do all these movements at the same time. Right, it's no problem. Go down, curl up, whatever you want to do. Almost drop it because I don't know how to drive. Right, all these different things. It's just, it's a major difference. It's kind of as expected, but again, it just highlights truly the scale of just the difference in these two classes of machine. So admittedly, there is something I kind of always wanted to try before we move on to the stump grinder here. And growing grass is not what I'm about to talk about because we're past that. I kind of wanted to see if this would lift one of those. I don't really know if it will. Those are, I mean, they're all heavy, right? These machines got a good amount of weight to them between the hydraulics and the motors and all that stuff, but I don't know. I figure it might be worth a shot. Let's see if it'll lift that thing up. I guess the answer is yes, it'll lift it, but god damn, that's right there. But that's, if that kind of doesn't explain it all right there, I don't know what does. Holy moly. Wow, man, I wish I could hop off too. That'd be, is it gonna stay? Now, admittedly, I don't know if it would do it with the bucket, but when I say that, what I mean, obviously the machine will lift it. The hydraulics are more than strong enough to lift it. Just the counterbalance weight aspect of it. Maybe if I had full fuel tanks, that probably would help quite a bit. And also, you can put weights on the side of the thing, then it would definitely lift it. But if this isn't kind of a representation of the the sheer size of the differences we're talking about here. I mean, that's straight up off the ground. Sure. Okay, well, let's move on to the stump grinder, I guess. I'll put this thing down. Okay, so we have the stump grinder hooked up to the little Power X here. Again, I can't actually use it because the quick connect size disparity, but that's okay because we are going to just take a look at how the machine handles the weight. So first things first, we're going to lift it up, and then we'll see kind of how stable the machine actually is. Okay, so I mean it's up, and it's reasonably, I guess, planted. And we'll take a look at the front of the stump grinder here and just see. Oh, okay. Can I get it to stay? No. Okay. Right. Okay. Well, there's that. Yeah, I mean, the stump grinder itself obviously is a pretty big attachment, but it kind of does speak to the whole capacity of the machine versus the attachment. I got to believe that, if you want to stump grind and you want to get a better look at what you're doing or whatever it is, you step off the thing, it does a somersault, that's not really going to work out for you. Now, as far as moving the attachment, it physically moves it around just fine as long as you don't get off the back. But maybe with a 23 horse unit, maybe it would not tip over when you get off of it, which, I mean, that'd be nice. But it is what it is. Hey, we put it on there. We took a look at it. Didn't really work out. So what we'll go ahead and flip it around to the diesel one, and we'll see how that one handles the weight. So no real surprises that this thing handles the weight of the stump grinder easily, and it doesn't seem like the stump grinder is in charge, if that makes sense. Which this is probably representative of like a grapple with a full load of wood or something like that, or pallet with some sod on it, where I don't want to be using a machine, and I don't want to have to worry about taking the time to get off of it and break down whatever I want to lift. I just want to lift it and move on to my day, because you get a lot of stuff to do. So that's that. I have zero doubt about the ability of this machine to operate this stump grinder, and I am going to figure out the whole quick connect issue to make that a reality. I got a couple of stumps I want to get rid of in the back, and I think that'd be nice to bring that to you. I know Greg over at Our Life in Trees has done some videos with his machine, his Durette, and the stump grinder, and I think it's a very valuable thing to bring to the community of being able to see what these machines can do. So the last thing I want to go over is just how this machine drives, because the operation of it is much nicer than the other ones. It's not jumpy or any of that stuff. So let's take a look at how it maneuvers. I'm going to try to hold the camera and drive the thing at the same time. We'll see if it works. Okay, so I hope this makes sense here. So what we're going to do, it's got the glow plug BS, but we've been running it. So we're going to start it up. There's your throttle right here. And I've noticed that I get it past, there's like a harmonic rattle. So single joystick right here. Move the attachment up, curl it, dip it, right, all that good stuff. And now we move. So it's a very smooth process, and if I can try to make it so you can see. And then we can go up with it even more. We want to grind a stump at 8 feet high. And the thing is, it'll swivel completely dead around. And then I stall it because it's not idled up high enough. The only weird part is when you back up, if this makes sense, where this joystick points to is where the front of the machine goes. So if I back up and I go this way, that's where it goes. That's that. Oh, there is a battery cutoff. Son of a gun, I didn't even know that. Huh, okay. So let's talk about what it costs to get into something like this comparative to some of the other machines. So this is a brand new machine. I don't know if, apparently there's a 2.0 version coming out that's even better. So I don't know what that one's gonna cost. But you know, I was nice enough to, or I guess I should say the folks up in Georgia were nice enough to send me this to try out to see if it's something that we're going to push, try to sell these things, get them in the hands of you know, landscapers, contractors, things of that nature. So this machine, as you see it, it's 18 grand. Okay, now everybody goes, oh my God, 18 grand, what the hell? I can buy 3 or 4 other mini skid steers for that. Yeah, you're probably right. You can auction machines, sure. There's literally no argument there. Let's talk about the comparisons. So I looked last night, and a 2024-2025 Ditch Witch SK800 is somewhere in the neighborhood of like 42 grand, depending. They don't really tell you the prices. You got to like call a dealer. I don't want to do that. But you know, on eBay, buy it now, a brand new one is like 45 grand. Okay, and the Bobcat MT100 is like 39 grand. Brand new. So you know, you look at that and you go, okay, well, that compared to this, you can buy 2 of these and still come out ahead of the game of one of those name brand machines. And in my opinion, they're not that far off. So, you know, 18 grand is what it's going to cost you to get into something like this. What's that 18 grand going to get you? It's going to get you the machine with the bucket, the big bucket, wherever I put that. It's going to get you the big bucket. It's going to get you the 24/7, pick the phone up and call the guy if you got a problem. And more importantly, it's going to be a 3-year warranty, unless you absolutely beat the crap out of it and flip it over and light it on fire. But you're going to have a 3-year warranty through all the dealers. So 18 grand, 3-year warranty. You get yourself one hell of a nice mini skid steer. I don't even feel bad calling it a mini skid steer. That is going to be able to do the work you need to do without wasting your time, without being annoying. And you know, if that sounds like it's worth it to you, then it's worth it. I mean, I'm very glad I had this doing sod, let's put it that way. So I hope this helps you out. I'm not trying to beat up on the Chinese mini skid steers that you get at auction, because I know that they are not truly a competitor to this machine. I know they're in a different weight category and everything about them is lighter duty. I get that. What I'm trying to do is show you what's out there for just that step up in money. You know, what's out there is really competitive with the name brand machines in today's market. So for now, that's going to do it. Cam Sweet here from the Garage Connection and Central Digger Supply. Please stay on those projects. Thank you.